Hey everybody!
Welcome.
Welcome to the first ever podcast. Squad. That's what we're calling it.
What is our cast called again?
Squadtalks.
Is this...
Squadtalks. Squadtalks. No, he's right.
I cut
He's
you.
right. He's right. It's Squadtalks.
It's Squadtalks.
Because Squadcast was already a thing.
Oh, wasn't?
Yeah, that was our original idea. Is
All right,
Squadcast.
so we're Squadtalks.
Squadtalks.
All right, so let's do that again. Ready?
No, it's
Ready?
perfect.
No,
I refuse.
No.
I will never start ever.
You're gonna hear from my union.
Okay,
All
so
right, yeah, first podcast
this is
2016
well, there's that. This is also, I think, our first podcast that we did physically together. Spoilers.
in a long time.
Normally
just forever. We've always been.
I said forever, and then you said no in a long time.
No, wait.
What?
That's the opposite of what happened. The record will show that you said in a long time, and he said forever, and then you flipped the script to make you look smart.
I say this thing.
Script.
You're gonna hear from my union about this.
Give me a stroke.
You're just like, wait.
Oh my god.
Because, here, spoiler. Normally, Jesus, fuck. Oh my god, it's
I'm
emerging.
Good. I'm good.
Because normally, spoiler alert, we're on Skype together, and we're all three of us just recording ourselves by ourselves.
Yes, surprise.
But we're actually all sitting around a table right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm actually looking into their cold, dead eyes.
Prove it.
Oh god, no. That probably sounded really bad on the audio. I'll prove I'm here.
Oh my god.
Ethan, Jesus.
I got it. I got it out.
So,
I got it.
Since this is 2016,
Yep. Welcome.
thanks. We're gonna talk about our games.
The best games of 2016.
Or worst. Just how we felt about the
I
games.
said 2016.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
What were the best games of the future? Please, future Ethan.
No, we have 5 days of games. Fuck you. Okay, best games 2015. Alright.
Are we starting out with the best?
No, should we just talk about games?
I say we
feel
just
like
go
if I
through
talk about the best, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
start talking about the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how that works.
Because you just, okay. Wait, first off, I think, when I personally think of 2015, I think of the fact that horror games, these are some of my favorite horror games in a long time.
Okay.
Especially since I don't really like horror games, one. And two, horror, especially indie horror games, kind of as a medium, have been kind of stagnating as just the same game with different skins for the past, 5 years now. Ever since, Amnesia came out.
Yeah.
Everything's been an Amnesia clone.
Yeah, everything's been Amnesia.
They have two games, one from the kind of an indie sphere from the guys who made Amnesia, Soma. I don't know if either of you watched
I didn't
that.
know that was an indie game. I thought it was.
I'm not sure if it counts.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they got, because when they made Amnesia was an indie game, but I'm not sure if their new game, I'm not sure if they got bought up by somebody, because I feel like it's not, but it's by the same developers regardless.
Okay.
Regardless, so it was good, and that and Until Dawn, one of my personal top games of the year, top three, probably three on that list, but still.
Well,
really good.
Yeah, Until Dawn could have been really bad, but it was self-aware enough.
It was
to pull
because
it off.
this is what I talked, because I played that game with Jake, my roommate, the offensive Jake. If anybody is
knows
listening
about
to
that,
this,
yeah.
who isn't just a fan from that.
Jake.
If you don't know about that, he's my roommate. He's really good. He's a Let's Player. Check him out. But me and him did that together, and it made me realize that basically up until this point, horror games have been the video game equivalent of The Exorcist or A Haunting in Connecticut, really serious, trying to scare you, creepy games. But there hasn't been any real cabin in the woods
campy
of
thing.
video games, which is a big part of a lot of horror movies. And they just haven't touched it at all. And this is the first game to not only touch it, but I don't see how you could do it better. This is basically the cabin in the woods of video games. It's kind of scary at some parts. There's a mystery to it, but it's really self-aware. It uses literally every single horror trope that you could possibly think of.
It knows it's doing that.
Yeah, it knows, and also it does it in a way where it all actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you could see it where they use every horror trope, and then by the end it's just a clusterfuck. But it actually I feel like not enough people like appreciated this. It maintains a coherent story the entire time, with an even like a satisfactory arc and an ending, while also managing to again use literally every single possible horror cliche. Like there's a creepy dollhouse.
Yeah.
There's creepy dolls. There's a ghost. There's zombies. There's psycho killers. There's like Saw elements, like torture things. It's like literally every possible video game horror or just horror in general trope is in there, but it all still like makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed by that.
Oh yeah.
And then Soma has one of the best stories in anything. It's not that scary, but like neither is Until Dawn. See, that's the thing. I feel like scary games have just now realized they don't have to just make you want to die.
Yeah, they can be a good
out of
game.
Scariness.
Yeah,
that's the main reason I didn't like a lot of horror games. It's because it's like you play it and you feel like you want to go home and die. Yeah, like you just feel bad.
Kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like it just fills you with tension and dread, and you're just like,
You can't play those things for too long.
Yeah, no, you can't. I feel bad for people like Jake who have to sit and play Alien Isolation for like 8 hours straight.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, Jesus, how do you do that?
I mean, there's something alluring about there's something that brings you in about those kind of games, though.
Yeah,
in a way.
In spurts.
That's a good point. Yeah.
When I stopped playing Until Dawn, I wanted to keep playing. I was like, I want to keep going because this is a great fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to keep doing things.
Yeah.
I want to play it again because it's got like a choice thing. So I want to see like how early you can murder somebody.
Yeah.
Because based on how well you do, characters will or will not die.
Okay.
So I want to see like the earliest point that you can make somebody get fucked. And like if you just keep fucking up, every character can die and the game's just over. Yeah. Like there's 6 characters. If you don't, man, I think one will always last to the end scene, but then you can make them die at the end scene. Like and actually the last level was kind of hard. Not like ridiculously hard, but like
challenging.
I think me and Jake lost 1 or 2 characters we didn't mean to. Yeah, there was like 1 or 2 we tried to make them die. There's 1 or 2 characters where we did not mean to lose them, and they Jake
died.
just fucked up. And
Yeah.
They died. And so it was a solid game because it had both the like aspects of like if you just really hate a character, you can make them die.
Yeah.
Or make them an asshole because you can control what they do.
Yeah.
And so like it starts off with like the horror tropes, but then like so like we basically when we were going through made one guy basically like a Jesus. Like he was like he never lost. He was an action hero. He was just like had like a perfect personality. And then everybody else we just made like the worst. And it was great. And you can just do that, or you can just have him die like immediately. Like at the first like hurdle, he's just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to talk about the 3 big games.
Mm-hmm.
The Elephants in the Room.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all the
Alvin and the
series.
Chipmunks 2.
The AAA series.
Wii Sports 9.
The Chipmunks. No, the AAA series of Fallout.
Yeah.
We got Rainbow.
Yeah.
And we got Battlefront.
Yes.
And they all came back in this year's, pre-Christmas.
Let's do it in the order that you stay.
Okay, so we want to start with Fallout?
Yeah, I say
That's
start with
fine.
Fallout.
I think, Fallout's definitely a game that has more ups and downs. I enjoyed Fallout. I've played a lot of hours. I think most people have liked Fallout. I think most fans have liked Fallout.
I'm still at about 12. I haven't really had a chance to play it recently.
Yeah, I think there is some glaring stuff that kind of separates it from the original series. Cause I
think it's better or worse than New Vegas? I agree. Really tough.
I don't want to say that. 'Cause, I mean, New Vegas is a great game. That's the problem. It's timeless. One thing that New Vegas has against Fallout 4 is...
better than?
Yes. Is
Dialogue?
the landscape.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It's a subtle thing that you may overlook, but when you're playing New Vegas, usually wherever you are, you can look around and you get a general sense of where you are due to the landscape.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference between that Fallout and Fallout 3. Because Fallout 3, you kind of had the monuments and stuff like that. When you're near the city, you could kind of get a general kind of idea of where you were. But when you're out in the wasteland in Fallout 3, you had no fucking clue where you were. Everything was rocks and just kind of, up and down hills and shit like that. Mm-hmm. New Vegas, when you played it, you knew where you were. You kind of got the ideas of where the highways were, and it felt the environment felt very cohesive, and you always felt like you knew where you were.
Each section of the map was really its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that has its own set of issues too, because there's some places that are literally just a fucking, a desert, right? And there's no things in these deserts. It's literally just land, but you kind of got a sense for where you were, and that was kind of cool for like the world building aspect of it, because it's always a strong suit of a Fallout game is its ability to immerse you in this world, and I think Fallout 4 doesn't have that as much.
I totally see that.
One thing I think Fallout 4 has on all the other Fallouts, well, really just New Vegas and 3, for ease of comparison, is the urban settings are much more advanced and much more immersive than the other ones. You don't have the problem with Fallout 3 where, you know, you're trudging through fucking metros all the time trying to find these little bits of, you know, islands in the cities to walk around for 3 seconds and then get stuck in another metro. It's very open and it feels right, and you kind of just walk from place to place and you kind of observe the environments and kind of casually go between buildings and over skyscrapers that have fallen over and, you know, huge highways, and it feels right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Fallout 3 where if Fallout 3, when you get into the city, it feels like a maze, right? And you can play Fallout 3 for 5 years, and then you come back in that 5th year and realize, oh, well, you didn't get off at this metro stop, and so you didn't get to see this large portion of the city. No, Fallout 4 doesn't feel that way. Fallout 4, if you see something cool in the distance, you can just go there.
Yeah.
You can, if you see a tall skyscraper, you're like, I can just go there. You know, whether it be that I climb up a highway and, you know, jump onto that building at the 40th floor, just go straight to the lobby and take an elevator up. You don't have that in Fallout 3. And you definitely don't have that in New Vegas, because New Vegas didn't really have an urban environment.
Yeah.
And the urban environment is, I mean, I enjoy it. I think some players may not.
Yeah.
Especially for the whole Fallout immersion of this society that's like crumbled. Seeing a urban environment in a game that's so easy to traverse is so cool. I think that's something that Fallout 4 has on all the other Fallouts. I think a big gripe is a lot of the newer kind of things they've thrown in. Yeah, the dialogue is the main thing. A lot of people don't like the voiced character. And
I like it.
I think this is my personal opinion on it.
What's wrong?
You fucking bitch. You're fired. My union is gonna hear about this.
Oh God.
Anyways, I think the voice character, and I may be wrong on this, but this is what I think it is. I think they've always wanted to do a voiced character.
Yeah.
But they've just never been able to. Mm-hmm. And so this is just something that the next gen has been able to do.
Yeah, that's true.
That the older generations have.
The Skyrim guys, he's got like a couple lines. Yeah, he says "Futhro Da" a couple times.
Yeah, he does. I think it's something that they've wanted to do. I don't think it's this like.
Feck like stared me deeply in the eyes. Anyway, I clipped the mic. You're welcome.
I don't think it's something that they threw in to appeal to a general audience, as some of my friends have complained about. I think this is something that they've wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't break me from the game.
I
had a friend who said that this is Fallout 4 is not a true Fallout game because it has a voiced character. And I think that's such a stupid place to draw a line.
Well, also, like, because I'm sure when Fallout 3 came out, everybody and their mom was like, this isn't a real Fallout game. Because up to that point, Fallout games had been, like, isometrically viewed, third person, like, fucking basically text-based adventures with a JPEG in front of you.
I feel like an unbiased party would never play Fallout 4 and be like, these people didn't make Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas.
Of course
you can draw those comparisons. They're so blatantly obvious that these games are created by the same studio wanting to make a sequel.
Hell, you could play Skyrim and play Fallout 4 and be like, this was made by the same developer.
People. Yeah, exactly. So I don't... the other thing with the voicing,
like the 2006 Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing with the voicing is people don't like the 4 options, and I hate the 4 options.
Yeah.
At first, I was kind of okay with it. I was like, this is quick.
I still don't know if I like full hate it, but I think that not having it would have been better.
It's just what I've realized with my character is it's almost monotonous because I think everyone has this. They want to be a good guy. That's basically what almost everyone becomes, is a good guy. That's just what they want to do. And the problem is, A is always the good response.
Yeah.
And so talking has now just become pressing A every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it becomes monotonous because every once in a while, I'll want to press like the B option or the X option, but that's like I see because now you don't see the full line, right? You just see that little header, right? And I'll look at the header and I'm like, I want to say that, but it's in the be a dick spot.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to take the risk,
Yeah.
right? So I just end up pressing A. It's like, just let me see the
That's
full
true.
text.
That exact thing is how I just realized you're totally right. That exact internal dialogue has happened in my head before.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until just now, but that's 100% happened.
Yeah,
I'm just
the monotony.
I don't want to risk pissing off this character, so I'm just not gonna ask.
Yeah, exactly.
That's happened multiple times. Holy shit, I didn't even think about that. But you're totally right.
It's so immersion breaking because not only are you the real player making a conscious external decision upon your
Based
character
on
based
the
on
game
the functions
design.
of the games, but it also makes you think to the past and realize how this problem didn't exist in prior games.
Yeah.
It's so immersion breaking.
Yeah, that's bad.
And the problem is, it's not even functionally a problem. Like, if you think about it, A doesn't always have to be the good option in a 4-button dialogue system.
No. Yeah.
They could have changed that up. But the problem is that kind of dialogue system leads to these sort of okay, well, let's always make A the good option. If we only have 4 options, why make these complex dialogue trees like we saw in the past? Let's just fucking...
Hey.
Yeah, put that in a folder, compress that folder, baby, and just fucking put it right there.
That's true.
Probably a lot easier to program it that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a lot easier to make lines for a voiced character that way, too. So, that's my biggest gripes about Fallout 4. There's other tiny gripes that I've heard people talk about, like sprinting, and I'm like, fuck you.
Fuck, who gives a
Sprinting makes combat so much more immersive.
Especially since it takes AP, I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, it is a good touch too. It's a skilled touch too, because that doesn't intrinsically, anyways to me, come to mind like, oh, this would use AP points. It sounds like something would be separate. That's a fantastic design choice.
Yeah, it really was.
But I remember times in Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, you walk around a corner and there's a fucking death claw there. And
casually
you
walk away.
Yeah, you just kind of let go of the controller because you're dead. But now with Sprint, if you walk around the corner and there's a death claw there, you kind of have this reaction where well, maybe there's hope, and you don't have that. You don't have that in a system where
it's
you
a very
can't
legitimate
sprint.
fight or flight. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and
good.
so it lets the player kind of exert some of that on the game, and that's why I think sprinting is a good mechanic.
Really. We also have a whole other podcast about this, so I say we go to the next one.
We go to the next game, which I want to talk about. Rainbow or Battlefront?
Let's go Battlefront, because we also have a podcast about that.
Okay, so let's talk.
I probably won't come out until after this one, but
let's talk Battlefront. The new Battlefront. It's been 9, 11, a lot of years. Let's say 9, 10. Oh boy, I screwed up.
Freudian slip.
Oh, I'm gonna hear from my union about this.
The union of repetitive joke makers.
So, it's been many years.
It's been
Since...
jet fuel can't help story.
Oh god. That's How come we always get back to the Holocaust?
I don't know, man. It always happens.
Why is that a thing that always? It's been 9/11 years. Oh no! Shit! It came out in 2001, guys. Oh fuck! Oh, we're back.
Okay, it's been many years.
It's been a bit
since Battlefront came out.
Yeah.
Two Battlefront games have existed.
Two Battlefront games.
And
two whole Battlefront games.
I think it was 2003 and 2004.
Yeah.
Really? They came out a year after each other? Damn.
I am dying. Anyways, that's what happens when you make 9/11 jokes.
God, just no.
Two Battlefront games have come out. They're very similar. Now we have a third Battlefront game coming out. It skipped a generation.
It did.
It skipped a generation of consoles, and that's important to remember when discussing it, because the game's going to be different. But when I got my hands on the new Battlefront, it's a little too different for me to call a Battlefront game.
I mean, yeah, hey.
I'd rather...
Along the same vein as last time, I feel like someone could legitimately pick up this game and be like, oh, the people who made Call of Duty, or the people who made Battlefront did make it, made this game.
I don't think so. What... there's no old game mechanics in it.
Well, but in context of it not being the people who made it the first two games, it does not feel like people.
I don't think it is the people.
It's not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, as a game in a series, it feels that level of distinct. That's my point.
Oh, you're saying it it's too different than the originals.
I don't know if it's too different, but you can tell playing it that this is not your mom's Battlefront.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's a goddamn gorgeous name.
So we heard EA many years ago. We heard EA was going to do this, and to kind of calm our nerves, EA said that there was going to be an individual developer within EA working on this Battlefront game to make a Battlefront game.
Yeah.
And obviously, when it was announced that EA was going to do it, everyone was really concerned it was just going to be Battlefield reskinned.
Yeah,
and
that's
now that I've gotten my hands on it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply that it is, because I don't think it is.
Well, no. This is what I'm about to say, and this may surprise you guys, or maybe it won't. But if they had just reskinned Battlefield with Star Wars shit, it would be closer to the originals than the game that they released. Have either of you played Battlefield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I played it a lot. Like let's think about it. So you got big fields, right? And in the main game mode, you're trying to control these capture points. It's a little different because classic Battlefield is like attack and defend. But if you think about the game mechanics of their classes, right? Each team has classes, and within those classes you have the medic. You know, the guy who destroys tanks, the foot soldier, and then the sniper. You have these classes within the game. That's already pretty close to what Battlefront is.
Yeah.
But this new one is like, create a class, you have one character, you customize the character's loadout, and you kind of go back into battle. There's a lot of old game mechanics in it, but this is
also,
my problem.
no ammo.
Yeah, no ammo, which I think is a cool addition.
Good, but it's interesting. I would
but
never
it's
have called
also
that.
kind of the same to the originals, because in the originals, they gave you so much fucking ammo.
I don't think I've literally ever...
No one ever runs out of ammo in the original. So it feels
why not just get rid of it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was a good choice. I was just surprised.
I was surprised too. The active reload system's also really cool.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, though.
Well, the maps are really small in Battlefront.
Well, that's on the split screen.
Okay.
I'm talking online, which I don't think you guys have played.
I'm playing it online.
Online is more similar to the old ones, except there's no NPCs. Obviously, it's all online, and when you play it, it's very shiny and bright. And
yeah, it looks gorgeous.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very immersive in like how the combat plays out. You know, in a lot of games like Call of Duty, it never feels like combat. You know, it feels like Call of Duty. It feels like a very well-skinned paintball match, you know? But in Battlefront, it feels very real, and it feels like the combat is like how it would happen in, this fake world that they've created.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it feels different, and I'm not talking in the game mechanic. I'm not talking from game mechanics. I'm talking about pure feeling. It feels different than the originals in one very important way. In Battlefront, even though you played as a foot soldier, as one of many foot soldiers, you kind of felt like you were a general. Because it was a bunch of NPCs, right? And then you join the game and you're like, I'm the guy who's gonna fucking get this shit.
And also like the flow of the battle is pretty much up to you. Like,
exactly.
I choose to go to this place, that's the one that people follow
like the
you to.
the NPCs are gonna take over command posts and, kill enemies and get in vehicles. They're gonna have a battle on their own.
Yeah.
But you felt like a general. Even though you were playing a character, you felt like you were literally just guiding a foot soldier.
Battle, yeah.
You felt like the controller was your input way of giving Battlefield commands.
What's the clone, like the place where the clones are made? It's the level there. Camino, thank you. Like, wherever you decide to go, that's the fucking way that it's gonna go. Because you start in the middle and you can go to either side. If you choose to go to the right, the battle's gonna be over there. Like, the NPCs aren't gonna go and take over the one on the left.
Well, actually,
It's gonna follow you.
They will.
Well, but they're gonna be fought off by the droids. Like, never effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
Like, the flow of the battle is... That's true. But I feel like in a majority of the time, the flow of the battle is very dependent on you. Whereas in the new one, it's not.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Mainly because you as the player exert so much force than any one NPC.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing: you never felt like you exerted more force than all of the NPCs combined,
True.
which gave this really cool feeling of being a foot soldier while simultaneously being the player which in most games is, just a soldier that's better than everyone else. But also, you felt like a general in a way, too, where you're like, this is how I'm going to shape the battle.
Yeah, because there was real strategy involved with, like, the map.
There was strategy, but there was also tactics. So you go to a map like Dagobah. Well, they're two different things. Tactics is a decision you make in-game.
Yeah.
Strategy is a decision you can make before you start.
That makes sense.
You go to Dagobah, and you're the clones, and you're like, oh, well, the common strategy is to, cut up the left, right? And in the game, let's say you cut up the left and you capture that command post or whatever, you may make a tactical decision to go to the right now, even though that's not part of the strategy, right? So there's a good balance of strategy and tactics. When you play the new game, you just feel like a foot soldier.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everybody else is the same. Is just as
yes,
smart as you.
yes, but you
But-
didn't feel that way in Battlefield so much.
That's true.
Because when you played Battlefield, you chose your class, and there was these objectives to go after, and you felt like even though everyone else was identical to you, being an online player, exerting force, you still felt like you had a great force behind you, right? You still felt like you could affect things. You don't feel that in this new one.
You could use the force, one might say.
Yes.
I was about to make that joke too.
God.
Ethan, can I join your union? No. The fees are too high.
But you don't feel that way anymore because you customize your character. It feels like you're just a dude killing some other dudes, and they have a lot of new game modes, but none of them is the classic capture, the command post.
Yeah.
There's no command post thing anymore.
Yeah.
And there's no way to play with NPCs on a command post basis.
Yeah.
So there's no way to play this game in which, oh my God.
Totally destroy your fucking flow. Anyway.
There's no way to feel the same way you felt with the old game.
Yeah, no, you're
And
right.
that's devoid of all
That's
game
a really
mechanics.
good. I've been trying to quite pinpoint exactly why it feels so different and not quite as full, and I think that's exactly.
Yeah,
what it is.
that's it. Like, there is no way to achieve the same feeling you played with the old games. Now, I want to use this as a transition into Rainbow.
Oh fuck!
Because Rainbow Six Siege is a lot different than any of the other Rainbows that have come
But-
before it. But
but-
you can achieve the same feeling
Absolutely
while
can.
you play
Absolutely, it does. It feels very similar
it. Yes.
to because we were just playing it. Was that last night?
2
nights
nights
ago.
ago. 2 nights ago.
And it with an entirely new bevy of mechanics, it still maintains the same the thematic, not the thematic. Just
I
it
think
feels the
thematic's
same.
all right. Yeah, no,
Yes,
you can achieve the same feeling. It doesn't look anything like Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
No.
It doesn't feel...
Neither mechanically or visually.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, it is totally different. But when you play it, you get that important feeling that it was made by the same people.
Well, also, I feel like the main thing that, really, even in our short time, because we've sunk who knows how many hours into 2, and we played together, maybe 2 hours on Siege.
Yeah.
But, already there was a great feeling of, even though you're up against really difficult NPCs, and in this new game they made it so that your health doesn't regenerate, which, holy shit, ballsy move.
Yeah, very
Ballsy move. You can't regenerate, and there's just no healing at all. Unless you, die and get, someone...
You're revived.
Revives you, yeah. Then you go back up to, 50, 70, I think it depends on the
50,
game mode.
yeah.
But still, there's no actual way to... Once you're down to, 20, you're just down to 20 until you die.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay. You're just down to 20 until you die. And so, it puts that kind of pressure on you that I think was in the first game.
Yeah.
Of, these enemies are hard and you're gonna get fucked if you're not careful.
Every time you get hit, you feel it.
Yeah.
And you felt
And I
that
like
in,
that.
You felt it in Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I have to be more specific now.
Yeah.
Because you had low health and you had to take on a lot of terrorists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so every time you got hit, you took cover, you made a decision what you're going to do. Now it's you get hit and it's like spilling a glass of milk. You look at it, it's spilt. There's no way to go back. You gotta deal with it. You gotta save the crying for later. You're fucking hit. And that's really cool.
Well, I think it works well back to how it feels like the original Rainbow.
Yeah.
Which is that your tactics super, super, super matter.
Yes.
You can't... I mean, you can, but it's not going to go very well. Just Rambo it.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And also, you get the feeling of, like, when you come up with a good tactic, it really turns the tide of the battle towards you, and you can feel it happening. It happened twice while we were playing for the 2 hours. That one time where I chose to be a sniper, I got into, like, a treehouse on the side of this house we were going in. I, like, looked through this tiny slit of a window and just shot everyone who came up the stairs. They tried to shoot me back, but it was too small of a window for them to shoot back without a sniper. So I just took out, like, 8 guys while just sitting on my ass in a treehouse.
Yeah.
And, like, it felt like I was being rewarded for thinking of doing things in a clever way.
Outside of just, let's run right through the front door and start shooting.
Especially since they put up barriers on the windows, but I managed to get up to, like, a height of, like, a small slit window that they couldn't reach.
Yeah.
So, like, not only... It wasn't even, like, a specific strategy in the map. It was a strategy, like, around their counter strategy to me. Mm-hmm. So before anyone starts shooting... You already have this really cool back and forth between you and the NPCs.
Yeah.
Like, before you even see them, there's already this whole situation going on you have to, like, account for. And that's very similar to, like, what was the other time that I felt... Oh, yeah, it was when we were doing the guard the hostage thing, and we, like, basically set it up so they had to funnel down a staircase and just, like, sat, like, right in between two, like, doorways so that we could get a perfect angle, and then they couldn't get an angle on us. And so it's things like that where the games are really giving you props for coming up with cool tactics around theirs. And it's not just like, here's a shotgun, do it. Like,
yeah.
And so that's very similar to Vegas 2, where we would sit for hours and, like, memorize, like, NPC walk patterns.
Yeah.
Like memorize, like, how quickly we'd have to shoot between two so they don't notice each other. Like, it's a very similar feeling.
I also feel like, going back to the whole thing of, it feels like it was made by the same people. Rainbow Six Vegas 2, especially for its time, made a lot of bold decisions.
Oh, yes.
About gameplay. It was a hard game. It was unforgiving. Even you go down to, like, gameplay mechanic choices. There was no melee. Even though you had...
And the cover system was very different.
Yeah,
they actually got rid of it for Siege.
Yeah, it was very bold. And you play Siege and you feel these... You feel, like, when you play Call of Duty, you feel like there was a board behind it of men in nice suits going, well, this game is going to have an M16 and blah, blah. Just making a laundry list full of fucking decisions and basically cutting the fucking edges.
Yeah.
Taking the crust off the sandwich for a general audience. You feel Siege being made and they're like, regenerating health. And you see the man in the suit go, well, that might, and then like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, no, it's
gonna be hard.
I can feel filled up into a glass and poured down my throat the sweat of nervous executives as this game is coming out. Because I'm sure when they came from the development meeting and went to their funders and were like, there's not going to be regenerating health, someone in that boardroom shat himself.
Yeah.
Because he was like, this game's going to fail.
It's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be unnecessarily hard.
This game is going to fail. And I'd like to imagine that, like, when like Dark Souls first came out,
Yeah.
same thing. Someone in that boardroom was shatting themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no one's going to play this.
It's too difficult. Yeah. But there's an audience
But
for
it gives
that.
like I think the what you said put a perfect point on it. It gives it an edge.
Yeah.
They didn't shave off the like corners. It's not like
there's
a big...
no mode in Rainbow Six in Rainbow Six Siege that has regenerating health.
Yeah.
There's no easy mode. There's no fucking training mode. Like every single game type in this game has no regenerating health. That's just how it is. That's how you get it. You get your milk. It ain't chocolate, it ain't strawberry. It's fucking whole milk. Right out the fucking udder. You're gonna deal with it.
Alright. Indie game time! Yay!
Okay.
Alex's
I
corner.
want
Because
guns.
nobody
I
plays
want
indie games with Alex. Alright, two things. One, Rocket League.
Oh yeah, no, I played Rocket League.
Two.
Have we all played Rocket League? Tragedy.
Damn. Okay, wow. I fucking love Rocket League. I don't love many games.
I mean, different to Rocket League. And this is why.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Unlike most games, that's fine. I think that if you play Rocket League and you're like, wow, this is really average, I think that's a perfectly acceptable opinion.
Good, because all my friends love it to death,
Yeah.
and they're, like, so competitive in it.
Sure.
And they wonder why I don't want to play, and I'm just like, have you not, like... I feel like this is my personal opinion, I feel like the people who really like Rocket League didn't grow up with the Xbox Live Arcade. Because the Xbox Live Arcade has a million fucking things like this. But I don't know. I feel like it's the timing. I also feel like it's aesthetic appeal. Yeah. It's also very well built.
The controls are so fucking tight.
Yeah.
The way the physics work is both intuitive and, like, you still kind of have to learn it.
Yeah.
It's not so intuitive that it, like, you just immediately get it. Like, there's a lot of skill and time sunk involved, but it's also not so unintuitive that you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
These cars are hitting balls.
How much does it cost?
$15.
$15?
Maybe it's 10. It's either 10 or 15.
Jeez, okay. I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because if this thing was like 30 cents, I would get the fucking... I'd get the fucking train. I'd see why people love it so much.
I think it's totally worth it for that.
I don't see why everyone loves it.
It was either
so
10
much.
or 15. It's just such a concise.
It is very concise.
Pointed experience. Like every single thing in the game is just to the point of like, hey, do you want to drive a car around and play soccer?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
And that's the entire game. And they just do every possible thing, every design choice in the game is just built towards that.
I can't get past the fact that I played ATV Off-Road Fury 2 when I was a kid. It's an ATV racing game. They had a mini game where everyone was on ATVs and they played soccer.
Oh, I never bothered with that.
Well, but
I just ran straight at the train every fucking time. Launched me
also
there.
just
That
like
was fucking
it's just the fucking Skinner box thing of just just thing reward.
Okay.
So you're just playing, and it kind of sucks for a while, but you just get that perfect, and like the haptic feedback is really well done, so that like you can feel when you get that really good hit on the really solid center of the ball hit. It feels different on the controller when it happens, and the sound effect is different too. Like it's just like it's a really well constructed, just aesthetically game. So when you get that fucking right in the center, you did the forward flip, you get it right on the fucking body of the car, it hits the ball. Goes at full velocity right towards the goal. Someone tries, fucking flips, misses it, goes straight in.
Yeah.
The ball explodes, say you're close, it
yeah.
sends you flying in the air. You're just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's just those little moments that you're just like,
Because my friends, they love fucking arcade games. They buy an arcade game like Nidhogg.
I think it really just comes down to like whether that aesthetic experience holds value for you.
Yeah.
I think if you're just kind of like, it's like an action movie. Like if you're wrapped it up and like just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Then you're like, yeah, I love it. But if you play it and you've played a bunch of ATV games and you played a bunch of mini games and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Then
I see
you don't
what
like it. I think that's a totally legitimate response to the game. Like if the aesthetics of it or just like the experience of it don't tickle your loins, then I think that's a perfectly legitimate way to like read it.
Okay.
Like I think
that
were
makes
to
a
say,
little more sense.
Yeah, I think if you were to stop trying to tickle my loins, Beck. I think if you went to it and you're like, I don't like it because it's like poorly designed or because
no, I don't feel that way at all.
Then I'd be like, you're wrong. But I immediately understood what you like. Immediately when you're like, I don't like it, I was like, I know why.
I think also I picked up the game and I was, not to toot my own horn, I was really good at it from the start. Yeah.
Were you playing against your friends or online?
Oh, I played 3. I played against my friends, I played against NPCs, and then I also played online.
Okay, well, maybe that's why I was really bad at it.
My friend was like, oh, well, you don't get it. Because I played straight off the bat, I skipped easy and went to normal, and they're like, oh, you're gonna suck. And I won.
Yeah.
And then I went straight to the hardest mode, and I lost by only a tiny margin, and they seemed very stunned by that, so I just assumed I was good. I played against them, I held my own, and then they're like, well, you don't get it. When we go to online, it'll change, and I scored a goal in the first 3 seconds, just right off the bat. And so I don't know, maybe that's part of it. Maybe going up the ranks is part of it. Yeah. I'm not the best at it. They'd cream me. Any one of my friends in a 1v1 would destroy me. But I don't know, I just picked it up, and I was already decent at it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's legitimate. I don't have any problem with that because it is very simple. It's like it's one of those things where like it's not a diversified game.
Yeah.
So if you're not in for the sole thing that game has to offer, then you're not in for it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
but see, this is what I don't get. They like I said, these guys they love arcade games, man. They picked up Nidhogg and now they're all fucking experts at it, and they're all equally experts at Nidhogg. It's fantastic. You can go there and I'll be like, hey, let's play some Nidhogg, and whoever I match is going to destroy me in like 5 minutes. But as soon as I hand off the controller, we sit there for like 90 fucking minutes and they duke it out, and it's amazing. No words are said. Popcorn is cooked. We sit down and it's fantastic. But they don't do it anymore. The only time we play Nidhogg is when I come over. And usually they kind of go through arcade games like this. You know, they went through their Nidhogg phase. They went through, whatever other game, Super Meat Boy. Now they're all amazing at Super Meat Boy. Yeah. But when they picked up this game, they never let it go, and that's what confuses me. I don't get what the longevity of it is. What's made them stick around for so long?
I mean, it's like, what's the longevity of like playing any sport? You know?
Yeah, I'd have to think about it more, but like it is one of the few games that does make me like feel things. Because most video games just don't do much for me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like most video games just can't hold my attention for more than like an hour or two. That was like maybe the first time in a long time that I found myself like sitting and playing a video game and like losing track of time. I think it's just those like small little victories, and then like, and maybe because I'm kind of bad, so just getting my face crammed into the ground, and then I get those little like moments of shining light where I'm just like,
always,
you know what, this kind
you're
of
always playing online, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, I always play.
Yeah,
I don't want
like
to bring it.
Playing against other people.
Don't want to bring it back to.
So yeah, no, that is actually the completely the thing. I played the NPC mode like twice, totally boring.
Yeah.
I was entirely bored, and the second I went online though, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So I think it is the implied social interaction also, I think, is a lot of it. Because you're sitting there and, like, it's interesting, like, you just see, like, people do things.
Oh, that makes
sense. Or say, like, I fuck up. I can, like, feel the rest of my team being like, fuck this guy.
That makes sense because all those other arcade games that they play don't have online modes.
Yeah.
And that's got to be totally it, because it's that whole drive to be good at it online.
Yeah, I think it is the very limited social interaction that you get. Because also, like, when you see, like, you're like, make a goal and someone on the other team misses, and you can like, in your head hear your entire team being like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, it just feels good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It carries weight.
Okay, Undertale. I'm the only one here that's played Undertale.
I can't even like picture it in my head.
Feck's heard the name and that's it.
I've heard of it too.
I think I've explained it to you.
You explained it to me. A couple of other friends talked about it.
It's my hit the table. Sorry everybody.
Yeah, what is it?
It's my game of the year.
Okay, but what is it?
It's an indie game.
Yes.
Made by a dude.
Oh no! Wait, is this the one you were always playing last semester, like with the cards and the dungeons and shit?
No, that's fucking. That's no.
Okay.
That's what is that? That's the Wizard game or Blizzard, I mean.
With the cards?
Yeah, with the cards. What's the
I don't come near that dirty
shit. That's made by the people who made World of Warcraft, son. That is not. Wow, what? I played it a lot. Hearthstone. Yeah.
No, yeah. What? Is that not the one with the cards?
Yeah, that's the one with the cards.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's made by the guys. It's a very big AAA game, dude.
Sorry.
No, Undertale made by one guy with two side artists that helped him with pixel art, but otherwise he made the entire story, programmed the entire thing, named Toby Fox. It's basically an RPG that combines bullet hell elements. So, like, when you're playing the RPG, do you know what that means? Bullet hell? So you're playing the RPG, and you can attack the other person, but when they attack you, you're a little heart in a square, and their attacks actually come at you, and you have to physically dodge them. So it's like, you know those big shooters where you have to, like, dodge them? It's that. It becomes that for just a moment while you're being attacked. And some of them are really fucking hard, especially the final bosses of each different run are all ridiculously difficult. The true final boss, he's probably the second hardest final boss. And one of the main characters, who, if you do it right, you can fight him, he's probably the final boss. Spoilers, Sans is probably, in my opinion, the hardest final boss. But, so there's that. So immediately starting the game, I was very impressed with just the whole bullet hell thing. Okay. Combined with the RPG was a genius move. Already that would put it in my top 5, probably. But it has two other big things. One, the story / characters are, like, ridiculously fleshed out and amazing. Two, it kind of, similar to Until Dawn, I think, it takes the tropes of its genre, which are RPG games, and completely turns them on their head. It's one of the most immersive games I've ever played, because every single possible thing in the game is accounted for. By which I mean, like, every possible thing that is a video gamey thing that you'd think, oh, that's just a video game happening, it's in-universe. Saving and loading are both in-universe. Which you don't find out it's ballsy, because you don't find that out till, like, 10 hours into the game. There's a running joke about your character being determined. That is a actual in-universe thing. Determination is like it's like a thing. It's like a level. It's like a meter. Mm-hmm. It's like magic or something. Like determination is like an actual in-universe thing. Levels, in-universe thing. your attack, your defense, all of it in universe thing. Like it's all like explained in the lore. 2, it takes your idea that you just need to like defeat because it's an RPG, so you're just like, I'm just gonna defeat and murder everything in front of you. Completely turns it on its head. You feel fucking. I've never gasped at a game. There was a moment in this where I actually like involuntarily gasped at something, just like a realization that I was like oh shit. This isn't like a specific spoiler or anything, but it was basically like I accidentally murdered that guy's family sort of level of like, oh fuck. 3, branching storylines, some of the best I've ever seen. Yeah, there's just like, depending on how violent you play the game, it just like it's everything I'd ever want in a game, and it's my favorite game of the year.
Fuck, now I don't want to play it.
You should. It's like $5.
I haven't bought like a new game since like 2013, I think.
This should be the one.
I don't have a new game station.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like you don't really get why it's so big until you've played it.
Is it on Steam?
Like 10 hours in. Yes.
Fuck yeah, I'll pick it up.
All right, so that's it for our year recap.
Yeah.
So pretty good year for video games, especially considering 2014 was a pile of dog shit for video games.
I agree.
Pretty good video game year.
Good shit, guys. We'll catch you on the next podcast.
All right, catch you guys on the... When you have the same number of maps as Splatoon, you might want to rethink.
Might not make sense. An event that might not make sense in one level for a character will eventually be made sense by another character.